What happens when a real-life Pokémon rock star moves into your house? Chewed-up guitars, a dangerous obsession with hot chili peppers, and a bond so strong it survived even a trial by fire. From a tiny rebel with a mohawk jumping to punk rock to a colossal titan commanding the tides. Let's begin. It all started one morning when my doorbell rang. I opened the door and absolutely couldn't believe my eyes. A tiny blue crocodile was just sitting there on my doorstep, staring right up at me. Those wild, energetic eyes searching for adventure. How could I say no? He didn't even hesitate and snapped his jaws right in front of my nose before jumping straight into my arms. And just like that, I had a brand new roommate who clearly had no intention of keeping it quiet. He was immediately curious about my vinyl record collection, then my old boots, and finally, the fridge. I realized he was curious about absolutely everything, so we decided to explore the world together, starting with the supermarket. We headed to the store. He was running between the carts, trying to grab everything in sight. We filled our cart with all sorts of things: bright berries, juicy exotic fruits, sweet tomatoes. We even tried papaya. Back at home, we laid out all these treasures on the table. He sniffed every fruit with curiosity, took a bite, and spat it out. Some he liked more than others, but nothing caused a real spark. Suddenly, his eyes fell on some bright red chili peppers. He carefully picked one up and took a bite. The moment he swallowed that first piece, his eyes widened, and the mohawk on his head vibrated with pure delight. 3 peppers later, and he was in pure, fiery heaven. From that day forward, he'd sneak into the kitchen every night hunting for Tabasco sauce. He even started sleeping in the bathtub filled with cold water to cool down after the spicy snacks, and spent his entire afternoons just trying to chew through old rock magazines he found in the garage. He wanted to help me with repairing the audio system, but he didn't quite understand it yet. The chewed-up amplifier cable incident was definitely not his finest moment, and apparently he thought that louder music always meant a better mood. He was very, very wrong. But then, disaster struck. He accidentally bumped the electric guitar stand. The instrument we were learning to play together crashed down to the floor and shattered into splinters. I had never seen him look so heartbroken and guilty. But that very same night, a short circuit happened in the garage. He rushed to the fuse box where sparks were flying. He shielded the precious records and instruments from the fire using powerful jets of water from his mouth. The voltage kept rising, the sparks getting brighter. Then, something incredible started happening. When the light finally faded, Totodile had completely evolved into a much larger Croconaw with a massive red mohawk. It was time for training. He hit the heavy bags with serious jaw strength and could perform an ice fang that froze everything in its path within seconds. But then, a wild Magmar appeared looking for a fight in our backyard. Water versus fire. Croconaw prepared his sharp teeth, growling to the rhythm of heavy metal. Magmar launched a massive stream of flames straight at us. They both attacked at the exact same time, and the steam from the collision filled the air. After an intense back and forth, Croconaw finally won, but his mohawk had almost dimmed from exhaustion. A few days later, a freak flood hit and our house started filling with water fast. He tried to hold back the flow, but the old garage doors were barely holding. My guitar collection started floating in the muddy water. His desperation to save our rock club triggered a massive explosion of energy. He started glowing. When the light faded, he had evolved into an absolutely massive and terrifying Feraligatr. His muscles tensed as he started slamming his tail against the water, creating a counterwave to push the flood out of the house. The dark sky shook with his roar, and he literally pushed the flood back into the riverbed, saving our home. Feraligatr stopped the crisis. The danger was completely over. A few peaceful days later, I rewarded him with a whole bucket of jalapenos, and he was peacefully listening to rock in his pool again. From a tiny snapper on my doorstep to the ultimate guardian of my life and my music.